I'd like to welcome everyone back to our podcast, Unloaded. This is Michael Seahorn.
Shannon Morrow.
And we are once again back. Kind of left off last episode on a little bit of a hanger. At least maybe we left off on not finishing your thought all the way through, maybe. I don't know.
We didn't even really get going on the original thought. I think it led in a little bit like kind of my, theoretical, just thinking too much about, what is it about, I really care. I'm such a hard worker. I really show up. That whole, the weight we carry because we just have so much responsibility and so many things we're trying to do for everyone. And where does all that come from? Right. And
yeah,
it's, there's some theories around that.
There is.
And maybe, if I may, kind of ease into the first of these theories. Have you ever heard the term an introject?
I've heard the word, but you're going to have to explain
I
that out a little bit.
I didn't know what it was really either. But it's basically almost just a deep core, almost beyond belief, almost like programming, almost like this.
So like you're in the Matrix.
Maybe.
You're deeply programmed in your sleep, but you don't know that you're asleep you're in the Matrix. Right?
You're not aware really,
right.
But you have such a almost subconsciously programmed in deep like value or belief, it's kind of in certain ways referred to as an introject.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll just keep it pretty objective. It's kind of difficult to look at sometimes, but it's very normal, very common. One very common introject is if I am valuable, right? If I work hard enough, if I care for others enough, if I earn my worth, if I am valuable enough, if I'm good enough, then I will not be rejected.
I see where you're going with that.
Most human beings early in their lives, as children, we all experience different, painful, attachment traumas or forms of rejection, or is it just a normal, everyday, really part of human existence? Of course, we're going to get rejected from time to time, but sometimes, unfortunately, it profoundly affects us, and there's even this new thing called rejection sensitivity dysphoria. We can get more into that, or maybe not later, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's quite common, and yet there's not a ton of awareness about it. We aren't looking at it or talking about it a lot yet, but it's increasing for sure. But many of us are hypersensitive to perceived rejection. And again, this is all very subconscious. This is way down in the psyche. This isn't anything that we're cognitive of, really. But it can really fuel our behaviors. And so you see where I'm going already. For example, if we are such a hardworking dude and we're always trying so much to show up for everyone and be so helpful, and we're always putting forth so much effort, and what's under that? Why are we killing ourselves? Why is everything feeling so heavy? Why are we harming ourselves, or just burning ourselves out, trying to be that everything for everyone was the phrase. And there is the theory that unconsciously underneath that is the introject. If I am valuable, then I won't be rejected.
Well, that's a heck of a thing to think about.
Sorry, thanks for
good.
finally allowing me to,
You're good.
go there, man.
I do. I appreciate that. I mean, I think our listeners know by now. I'm pretty deeply rooted in the meditative world, especially in the Buddhist traditions, and I definitely love philosophy of all kinds. So this is very interesting to me because I can 100% say with certainty that I see this a lot.
Yeah.
And it is deeply rooted in most people. I see it in my current profession. I've seen it with my own children. I've seen it with other family members. And I think it's a profound thing to think about because you are going to get rejected. I don't care how hard you work. I don't care what you look like. I don't care how fit you are. I don't care if you're 1% body fat or 100% body fat. At some point, we all going to get rejected, like you said.
Thank you. And I'm even going to further that. Rejection serves. We wouldn't not want to be rejected. It truly, like if we can allow for, just to zoom way out and more objectively, like when we are shopping, we reject everything except the one thing that we buy. Like,
sure.
Which shampoo are we going to buy, or, for example? Or, we wouldn't want to be chosen for everything. All the no, please, like, nope. Mike's not the dude. Oh, thank God, I'm not the dude for that, right?
Yeah, no, that's valid. I mean, I was just sitting here thinking, if you just look at it from a little simpler term, it's almost to the level where, okay, I think that I'm smart enough or intelligent enough to be an engineer. I'm just using this as an example. I would hope, for everyone's sake, that when I go into the interview, they look at my education, they look at my experience, and they look at me and they say, Mike, it appears that you are great at a whole lot of things in life. Engineer's not one of them.
Yeah.
You don't have the background for it. You don't have the experience or education for it. We like you. You're a great person, but you're not going to be an engineer, right? Conversely, I would hate someone to go, come on in. We got a desk down the hall for you, man, and just go ahead and get right at it. We'll leave some plans on the desk there, and let me know what you come up with, right? So it is a very profound to think about because at the root of it, you are correct, is most people, and I just use the word most people don't want to go through rejection. They don't want to feel rejection. They don't like how it feels. It's uncomfortable. It makes us feel like crap, right? It makes you feel less than sometimes, depending on how you're receiving it, right?
Old associations, even often as far back as our childhood, that deep down in our psyche, not as cognitively accessible, but where the emotions often originate. If there's quite a profound, negative, painful emotion of rejection, and then we will carry that association into all sorts of stuff, even present day. That's why even in our previous podcast, when you are dealing with your employees or whoever that's pretty triggered, pretty heightened, has a lot of emotion that they're, blasting at you and stuff. Well, what's under there? That's one of them. There's several others, but a large driver for most of us that we haven't really been looking at, or a little bit, is that hypersensitivity to perceived rejection. And so we overcompensate for that.
Yeah.
We are then, okay, how do I make myself valuable enough to not feel or like that I could be rejected, well, if I work hard enough, if I do enough, if I'm good enough, if I'm pretty enough, if I'm valuable, let me, then, I won't get rejected because they need me, right? And, but then that leads into the problematic thought, well, I can be valuable by being helpful, right? And yes, and I mean, we can get into that more later maybe, but I just want to move into the kind of the result of that then is very common, never feeling good enough, because we are attempting to earn our worth. We are attempting to just, that's it. We're trying to earn our worth. And yet, can we really work hard enough to feel worthy? Can we really be good enough to be valued? Maybe sometimes, some cases, yeah, that's how it works. But in a lot of other ways, it doesn't quite work that way. And so that very common, ever-present gnawing deep down within us of, not quite there, man, not quite good enough, come on. And then that self-criticism that enters, and that whole cycle that many of us experience of working as hard as we can, but still not feeling ever that we're quite reaching the mark. And then what that does to our own, our self-value, our self-esteem, our self-criticism, and how that can cycle around. And it's a common thing that many of us struggle with. It creates a lot of that weight, even though we're busting our ass.
Yeah. I can definitely tell. Move your mic just a little bit to your right. There you go, Shannon. Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah. You were fading out on us. I just want to make sure we bring you back in. It's an interesting thing because I see it a lot in how people talk about themselves. I think in what I have seen in my own personal spaces, I generally see both ends of that spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Usually see the guy that's got super high ego, super high, a little bit narcissistic in their ways, but a lot of ego, a lot of nobody better than me. I'm the best it's ever been. And I've also seen the complete opposite spectrum where you have the person where like, no matter what I do, it's never enough.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So those are those two huge sways in the spectrum that I've seen. And what you're talking about is when you're trying to, you're not even trying to be in the middle. You're just trying to prove to something or someone that you've got enough worth or value that then in return they're giving you something back that's feeding that, right?
Their validation. Right? Exactly.
And that's hard because I saw that a lot early on in my fitness days.
Oh, right.
When I was helping people lose weight and I was helping people get into the gym and eat better, exercise and do all the good things. I mean, it even happened to me personally at some point where it was like, I can't lose enough body fat, right? Or I can't get my muscles big enough. So you're stuck in this cyclic existence that I talk a lot about, right? You're just in this damn circle or hamster wheel, and you're just going around and around and around. And man, I'll tell you this, that's a bad place to be because it causes so much deep suffering within ourselves.
You never arrive.
You can't. Because like Shannon's saying is if you're constantly feeding, if I just do a little bit more, then I'll be, and you can fill in the blank, liked, loved, more value. I'm going to get a promotion, or I'm going to get the guy, or I'm going to get the girl, or I'm going to get the whatever. Right?
I'll feel better about myself. I'll feel more content, or happier, or at peace, or satisfied, or what? And why is that so elusive?
Because inevitably, the person or the thing that they're getting that from, it's going to stop. That's reality. As a leader and as a vice president or as a business owner, you can only give so much. So if the person on the other end is constantly needing that feedback or affirmation or constant, you're doing a great job, you can't do that. At some level, you just can't do that because you're spread amongst 30 people, 20 people, 100 people, maybe just 2 people. So they're not going to get that constant value out of you where you're just constantly patting them on the back every day, telling them how wonderful they are. That's not the world we live in. So inevitably, you're just going to continually feel that rejection, right?
Maybe again, very case by case. And for some, a little goes a long ways, just a little attaboy, but I guess I was maybe more, speaking to our own internal experience of that, the whole reason this podcast was created, unloaded, the weight we carry. What is that weight that feels so heavy, that gets so hard to bear?
Well, I definitely think over the last 20 plus episodes, I think we've probably touched on a lot of different,
at risk
aspects,
of,
right?
we get too repetitive here. Sorry, listeners.
No. I don't mean that in a sarcastic way. I think that if you listen to the last 20 plus episodes of Shannon and I, even the earlier episodes when we were laying the groundwork, is we talk about, and it's in the logo, we talk about this backpack that we all have, right? And that we're just stuffing things in that backpack. And those things can be anything. It's not a certain thing. It's not getting validated at work. I'm not getting validated by my spouse or my best friend or my brother or sister, or I'm not getting enough attaboys because I'm working my tail to the bone and I feel like they don't appreciate it. So I'm going to go somewhere else and go work for another company. Your backpack is a container for life. It's what you're going through every fucking day in and day out. Whatever it is you're doing on the planet Earth, I don't care what it is. I don't care if you're a dude that you get paid to serve. God bless you, by the way, bro. God bless you for that. If you're a lady out there or a dude that you get paid to serve, God, man, high five to you. I'm envious a little bit on that, but I don't care what you're doing on the planet. We all have that backpack, man, and we're all shoving different shit in that backpack. My backpack will look drastically different from Shannon's, right? My backpack's going to look drastically different from my wife and my children and my owner or who I work for. And I think it's going to be real hard for us, or for me for sure, to really just put my thumb and say, hey, man, the weight you carry is this. Life itself is weight. And when we created this podcast, my ultimate goal was, if one single person out there that has listened at some point to this podcast feels a little less alone in the world and they feel a little less by themselves, I have accomplished what I wanted this podcast to do. Because I felt like there are so many people that are dealing with so many things and they have no outlet for whatever reason. They're scared to get help. They're scared to ask for help. They don't know where to go for help. They feel like, oh, I'm the only one that feels this. And I think you and I talked in great detail about how many people feel and deal with the stuff that you and I talk about behind closed doors every session for over the last decade.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. And so, man, I don't know if it was maybe a bit much for me to push a little deeper down, like what the stuff in the backpack, proverbially, why is it so heavy? And is there a way, because you're right, life gets heavy, just the day in and day out of just getting through each day, each week, each month, making ends meet, and just showing up, keeping going.
I know where you're going with this, and I think I understand now after 20 minutes of talking about what you were talking about earlier in the show. This is such an independent thing per person, and I don't know if the English language is even capable of explaining what I think you're trying to pull out. Because I can see it on Shannon's face. He's a deep thinker, and I love him for that, and I appreciate that. What we've been talking about, the proverbial weight in our backpacks or in your safe or wherever you put your weight, it's going to be very hard to put your thumb on that sometimes, because I'll tell you, there are days, man, when I get up, I'm going through my morning, things that I do in the morning, my rituals, and just some days I'm spot on, some days I'm not. Most days I am. Some days I wake up and I feel heavy, but I cannot put a finger on what that heaviness is. Even after meditating, even after journaling and reading, and I'm on the way with everyone else on the way to the office, right? You just feel like there's something there, and you just, there's no words for it, man. You can't pull it out. I don't know what that is. But what I do know is if I feel that too many days in a row, then I have to stop and I have to get into a different place to see if I can figure that out.
Nice. Thank you, man. That's a great marker. Just a measurement, really. Yeah, because everyone, I believe, we have those days. It's part of the human experience. It's just some days are hard. We feel low. It's just that emptiness, that sadness, whatever it is that we're carrying, and can't even, like you said, put our finger on. We're just like, just hard day. And that's okay. That's normal, actually, for everyone. Yet if it's 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row, 2 weeks straight of that same, a month or two of just, it turns into even like clinical depression or whatever, that is a very good measurement. If it continues, if it persists abnormally long, please, please, please let that be an indicator to you. Something's off. Something's not. This is where, as Michael continues to encourage everyone, like, man, don't keep going this alone. Please reach out. Please, if you are in crisis, of course, he mentions at the end of every podcast, we'll get into more of that later. I want to ask him about that, because it's important, Please, if you are in a mental health crisis, 988 is always there 24/7. Okay. If it's maybe not quite a crisis, but you've been feeling just getting your ass kicked for weeks at a time, low, sad, depressed for weeks now, or angry or disconnected or just grindy, man, you don't have to keep trying to tough that out or tolerate it or doing it by yourself. Please, man, there's professionals who really are educated, trained, skilled at helping people through those times, pulling them out, getting them back on track, back to their normal baseline, even in raising that baseline, like Michael's very much experienced, to being considerably a different individual these days, comparatively in 10, 15 years ago. So, thank you for that just basic measurement.
Yeah, the one thing I hope that some people get out of this podcast is that I really would just hope that more people take care of themselves, that you focus on yourself, right? Because it's no different from the stupid airlines when we're all sitting there and we just want to get to our destination and they're going through all the damn things. Get your card out. Look at this. Here's how you fasten your seatbelt. Oh, by the way, when the mask falls out of the ceiling, put your shit on first. The Army and all the rest of the branches tell you the same thing. You put your own damn gas mask on first, then you can help your buddy, right? I think life is the same. Yes. I am no good to anybody, man, if I'm all effed up, bro. Yep. I'm sorry. Yep. You can try, and you could fake it quite a bit and get through it, I'm sure, because we've all done that, but not for a length of time. No. You have to take care of yourself, man. You do. You just got to have some self-care, man. It's okay for you to be like, you know what, bro? I'm just going to stay home today because I'm not 100%. And maybe I'm not going to do anything today. And which, some irony in that statement, because I can already hear my family going, yeah, you should probably practice that. You know what I mean? Because I'm not one that sits around a lot. Mm-hmm. But there are times when I know my indicators is blinking, the alarm's going off. And as hard as it is, I want to go home and get in the shop and do all these things. I have to say, no. Today, I'm going to go sit in my home office. Maybe I play a game, maybe I read a book. I'm not going to do anything until I just take a couple hours for me. And whatever you do in those few hours, good for you.
Yeah. Beautiful, man.
You know
That's our whole point. That's one of our biggest messages that we continue to try to drive home, because even though we know this, we still from time to time catch ourselves working so hard, getting so burned out, just trying too much to just do all the things, and then wondering why we're so grumpy or so burned out and so just on edge, because we're trying to be all the things to all the people and earn our worth or get some of that external validation, because we have forgotten, oh wait, no, we don't really want to be outsourcing that. We really want to be able to return to ourselves, provide that for ourselves, like first and foremost, take care of ourselves. And it's such a valuable reminder to, I forgot, once again, old stuff. I'm out there trying to earn it, trying to be good enough. But once again, that doesn't ever really work. And so to return to self, I like myself. I believe I'm valuable. I'm good enough, and provide that for ourselves. And then we have some extra energy. We aren't as grindy or burned out. We're in a better mood. We're feeling a little lighter, and it makes such a difference.
Yeah, it does. So you said you had a question for me?
Oh, how much time do we got? 4 minutes. Ooh, okay. Well,
yeah. What was your question?
At the end of almost every podcast, you very distinctly, hey, if you're in specifically a mental health crisis, specifically if you're feeling suicidal, please reach out. Don't go that alone, man. And that's so important to you. And I just was kind of curious, like, wonder what's under that. You've touched upon very lightly. You've indicated, kind of some of the darker places you were in your life 10, 15 years ago, but that's a very important message that you continue to relay to others. And I was kind of curious about the origins of that.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into the greatest amount of detail on this, but I'm just going to touch on it. And we can come back to this maybe next week or the next episode. Is if you all go out there to the unloadedpodcast.com, that's our website, you're going to see two very regularly handsome gentlemen on our page. If you look closely at the artwork that I have on my arms, on the right arm I have a giant 6, and in the middle of the 6 it says "Got Your." So it says "Got Your 6." That is a thing that's in the military where when someone says, "Hey, I got your 6," it just means they have your back. That means you know that you don't have to turn around and keep looking over your shoulder, that your partner's got your back, okay? That evolved into the world of veteran suicide, and it became a huge staple, if you will, of the 22 veterans that commit suicide every single day. I've experienced that personally with a very close friend of mine. He decided that he was going to take his life, and from that moment forward, I wanted to make sure that every single veteran out there knew if they saw me and they seen this tattoo, that they would be like, "Hey man, I see that tattoo. You got your 6. Whatever happens after that." I just wanted people to know, like, there are people out here, man, that are truly for the human population. Doesn't matter if you're a veteran. I don't care what your political status is. I don't really give two shits about any of that. What I care about is that if you're in a place and you need help, I got your 6. That's where that's rooted into, man.
Thank you, Michael. I so appreciate that, man. Your own personal experience of losing a close friend to suicide has made this so important to you that at the end of almost every episode, you're like, "Hey, man, please reach out. There's really good professional help out there. Please don't take your life. Don't do anything drastic in your lowest time.
Yep.
Keep going, man."
So that's where it comes from.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Thanks for the ask.
Yeah.
As usual, we have come to an end of another episode here on Unloaded, and I think Shannon's talked about it in great detail today. If you do need help, it's out there, 988. He's already talked about that. I appreciate everybody that listens to us. I really do, man. It means the world to me. I'm sure it means the world to Shannon. I won't talk for him personally. And if you are experiencing anything, I don't care what it is, man. Just ask somebody for some help, man. Just have a conversation.
Yep.
But unfortunately for me, this is Mike Seahorn.
Shannon Mora.
And we will catch you on our next episode.